of the Judson Board of Trustees is hereby called to order at 5 p.m. I'm very pleased that you have taken the time to join us this evening. In compliance with State Government Code on Open Meetings, tonight's agenda has been appropriately posted. These proceedings are being audio and video recorded and will become part of Judson's permanent legal record. In order that the tape adequately reflects these proceedings, please silence your mobile devices and refrain from talking while others are speaking. Once again, I extend to each of you a sincere welcome from the entire school board. Thank you for your interest in Judson ISD. We have established a quorum, and I will call roll. Okay, mark your attendance. Okay, all 7 members are present. Okay, the next item on our agenda is public comment period. This is a time for citizens, staff, parents, or students to provide their comments to the board. A meeting that is open to the public under the Act is one that the public is entitled to attend. However, the Act does not give the public a right to speak at such public meetings, except through the proper channels. Before we begin, I'll remind our audience members of the board's procedures for handling public comment. Anyone who wanted to speak during the public comment portion of the meeting was required to sign up prior to the start of the meeting. Each public comment speaker will be allowed to speak for a maximum of 3 minutes. Yielding time to other speakers is not permitted. As this is a special meeting, comments are only allowed on posted agenda items. Speakers need to keep their comments civil and courteous and avoid using profanity. Speakers will not be allowed to discuss students who are not their own. While speakers may criticize any act, omission, policy, procedure, program, or service of the board, personal attacks or complaints about individuals will not be allowed. If you have a specific complaint against an individual, I am required to stop you and direct you to seek resolution through the district's grievance process. DGBA for employee complaints, FNG for parent or student complaints, and GF for community complaints. Grievance forms can be obtained at any campus administration office or in the central administration offices. All right, with that in mind, get my cards together. All right. So first on deck, we have Leah Schreier, and after her will be Elsie Hall and Beth Patience. All right, Ms. Schreier, you're on first.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Leah Schreier. I've been a teacher at Rolling Meadows since 2018. And before I begin my remarks, I just want to remind all of you what I asked of you on Saturday, which is that you really consider the huge weight that your leadership carries in these decisions. I want to remind you that the rules of the game have changed several times throughout this process, and ultimately the decision is in your hands this evening. So that being said, I want to share a little bit of information about our wonderful Rolling Meadows community. We have an amazing, vibrant community that's very involved in our school life. We have several events throughout the year, such as Fall Festival, Spring Festival. You guys have a packet that shows you some pictures to go along with this. We have a vocabulary parade. We celebrate Fiesta at our school. We had our very own Christmas card contest this year. We have a Career on Wheels Day where children get a chance to explore careers in our community. So we already have this huge amount of community involvement at Rolling Meadows. We have an amazing PTO that has an active social media that shares information with our community. They help us raise funds, and they're very involved in making our school a better place. In addition, we have a staff of long-term teachers who have been in our community for many years. I myself have been at Rolling Meadows since 2018, and several of my colleagues have been there long before I have. So here's what I've got to propose to you all. I hope that you guys would give us the opportunity to leverage this amazing school community that we have, and give us an opportunity. Give us a year. Let us show you how we could build enrollment through things like community sweeps, building on the trust that our community already has in us, to try to bring in kids that maybe have left for charter schools or other options. Give us time, and if you would let us pilot these efforts to see if we can bring in more enrollment and retain those students, we could provide leadership across the district for how we could make enrollment grow district-wide. If we could practice with some of these different initiatives we have in mind, we could lead the whole district to better enrollment and more students in our school. So several of my colleagues are going to talk more this evening about the great things that are already happening at Rolling Meadows. We just want to remind you that nothing is decided yet, and if you would give us a year, we really believe that we could make a difference in our community, and we could lead the way for the rest of the district to show how we can still have strong public schools even in the changing climate with the growth of charters and vouchers. We believe that we stand apart, and we believe that our families will trust us when we say that to them, and we think we can make a difference in the current state of affairs. Please give us more time. Please don't make this decision prematurely. Thank you.
Good evening, Board of Trustees. My name is Elsie Hall, and I am a stakeholder in this district. We all agree on the 37 million reality. We agree that the status quo isn't working, but today I'm presenting a third option for Rolling Meadows Elementary, one that the current data set has completely overlooked. The administration's primary argument for closing Rolling Meadows is the priority one repair cost, cited between 1.9 and 7 million. However, under Texas Education Code Section 44.901, these repairs do not have to come from our general fund. By utilizing energy savings performance contracting, the district can pay for every single HVAC and lighting upgrade at Rolling Meadows using the guaranteed utility savings those upgrades create. This is a self-funding mechanism. By law, the contractor, not the taxpayer, guarantees the savings. If we use this tool, the repair cost excuse for closing our most modern building evaporates. Furthermore, San Antonio is one of the few places where the CPS Energy Score program offers upfront cash rebates specifically for schools. We could cover up to 75% of our control system costs with free money that is sitting on the table right now. Closing a building built in 2011, our most energy efficient asset, while keeping open buildings from the 1960s and 70s, is a reversal of fiscal logic. It's like selling a 2024 hybrid because it needs a tune-up, so you can keep driving the 1980 lead sled that gets 8 miles to the gallon. Finally, let's talk about the savings myth. The administration says closing Rolling Meadows saves 1.5 million, but if only 150 students leave Judson for the charter schools literally down the street because their neighborhood school is gone, we lose 1.5 million in state funding. The savings are a wash, but the loss of a B-rated modern community asset is permanent. We aren't just closing a school. We are handed a welcome sign to the charter schools. I urge this board, do not vote to close Rolling Meadows tonight. Instead, order a no-cost preliminary energy audit. See for yourselves if this building can pay for its own repairs before you break the 2009 bond promise made to our voters. Let's lead with strategy, not just scissors. Thank you.
I keep everybody moving. After you, I know you're so excited, so it's okay. Next up, after you will be Andrea Rapp and Robert Garza. So, all right, go ahead, Ms. Patience.
Good evening, board members, superintendent, and cabinet. My name is Beth Patience. I stand before you tonight as a taxpayer, a resident, a teacher, and a proud product of Judson ISD. Lately, I've heard this board frequently use the word resilient to describe our students in the face of potential school closures. While our students are indeed strong, we cannot use their resiliency as a shield to ignore the documented trauma of displacement. A 2024 study by Dr., I do not know how to say his name, Jay Kim from the University of Houston, which analyzed 470 Texas school closures, reveals that a starkly different reality. The data shows that school closures create a persistent drop in performance that follows the students for decades. The short-term disruptions are immediate. Math and reading scores will drop significantly. Absenteeism will increase. Disciplinary actions, including suspicions, suspensions, and expulsions, spike by 15% in the 3 years following a closure. The long-term consequences are even more devastating. By age 26, students who experience a school closure are nearly 5% less likely to attend or complete college. Aren't we college rated? We send our kids to college? That hurts us. They face lower employment rates and earn on average 3.4 less than their peers. Most importantly for our community, these negative effects are most pronounced among Hispanic and economically disadvantaged students. We are told our students are resilient enough to handle these closures, but the data shows that resiliency does not pay the bills. It does not bridge the achievement gap created by institutional instability. I urge this board to look past the rhetoric and acknowledge the lifelong academic and economic costs of closing the school. Like my peer, Ms. Schreier said, give us that year to reduce this long-term detrimental effects of school closures.
By Robert Garza and Laura Rowe.
Good evening, everyone. I want you all to picture this. Picture a 5-year-old going to school for the first time. He can read already, but very much unable to tell you how his day is, if he's happy or sad, or if he fell on the playground. He is welcomed each morning with a hug and motivation to go to his teacher. This teacher maintains communication throughout the day because she knows you as a parent, you aren't able to get out of him what goes on throughout the day. This teacher also calls late into the afternoon and evening very frequently to work with you to provide the best environment for your child due to having autism. Moving forward throughout his school years, that maintains and that continues from kinder all the way to 5th grade. Your child is accepted for who he is, not forced to be like everyone else. Your child is allowed to experience PE in a different way because he won't enter the gym for a year and a half. Your child is cheered on by his entire grade level during bike rodeo, even though he still has training wheels. Your child has an entire class who knows his triggers and how to help him cope. You get messages from multiple faculty members, which actually happened today, each month saying how the fire drill went for him personally. But most of all, he is loved when he goes to school. I presented just a few examples of how, as I call him, the unofficial mascot of Rolling Meadows, because they know it's true. How his experience has been at Rolling Meadows Elementary, the impact the teachers and staff have made on my child and his success in school has been an experience I will forever be grateful to God for. The internal impact each person contributes to the success of the students and staff has been an amazing gift to watch. But even more, the leadership of Mrs. Sharissa Rose has brought this year elevated the positive atmosphere even more. When the Wolf Tracks newsletter alone, we are providing not only the weekly happenings, but also ways to connect to the school and provide staff shout-outs. These shout-outs are then celebrated at a school-wide celebration. Each member of the staff and student body feels valued. I believe there is more for the school to give in its years to come, and I only hope that a decision tonight will provide the opportunity for future growth at Rolling Meadows to create a larger impact on our community, because it's only just begun.
Next up is Robert Garza, and you'll be followed by Laura Rome and Miriam Owen.
Which Robert Garza?
I don't know, because it just says Robert Garza.
Oh,
Does it say RME on it?
It does say RME.
That's him.
Okay. I'm sorry. Other Mr. Garza will get you shortly. Thank you.
John Smith up next.
All right, Mr. Garza, number 1, you are up.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you for the opportunity to speak today. My name is Robert Lee Garza Jr. I am an AP at Rolling Meadows. I've dedicated about just under 20 years, both in public education as a teacher and a leader within public charters, but then also public education. So that dual experience gives me a unique perspective on the challenges and opportunities we face today. I am here because I believe in Judson ISD and the students we serve. But I am deeply concerned about the trends in our region that, if unaddressed, will continue to drain our students away from our campuses and weaken our ability to serve every child. Let me share some clear local enrollment reality, just recently posted in the San Antonio Express. San Antonio area open enrollment charter schools around San Antonio have grown sharply from 3% in 2014 and 2024 up to 13%. Judson in 23-24 had 23,000 students, 848 placing us as the 4th largest district in Bexar County. Meanwhile, the charter school network Idea Public Schools enrolled about 76,000 across the county, second only to Northside ISD. Within our community, Idea Judson serves approximately 1,400 students on its local campus alone. Across the San Antonio area, there are more than 130 charter campuses enrolling more than 57,000 students and growing year over year. These numbers matter. They aren't abstract. They tell us families are making choices. And charter schools are aggressively recruiting and winning enrollment, even right here in our own neighborhoods. I have direct knowledge and strategies on what it takes to bring back students to our district, and Rolling Meadows being the model. This isn't speculation, it's a trend. Charter presence in San Antonio has expanded rapidly over the last decade. Increasing school choice, options, and reshaping where students attend, this shift has real consequences for Judson ISD. We cannot assume that just because students live in our attendance zones, they will choose us. Many families are making proactive choices for education. If we want them to choose Judson ISD, we have to give compelling reasons to stay. That's why I'm proposing and asking the board for 1 year of development, implement an intentional recruitment and marketing strategy. Highlight what we do best: strong academic programs, fine arts, athletics, career pathways, dual credit opportunities, and community partnerships. Tell the powerful stories within our walls. Activities, outreach, recruitment initiatives through neighborhood, as my colleagues have mentioned, digital engagement. This turn and positions Judson as choice that Judson families will make. In closing, there are reasonable, proven actions that many high-performing districts and charter networks use successfully. As Stephen Covey said, begin with the end in mind. Let's envision a Judson ISD that grows enrollment, strengthens community trust, and becomes a model of intentional recruitment and engagement. This campus and its leader have inspired me. I see the passion, the purpose, and promise in the students and staff every day. That's why I'm here, advocating not for retention by default, but retention by design. Please consider the proposal not as a delay, but as a strategic investment in our future, our students, families, community. Thank you for your time and your service, your commitment to every child in this district. Thank you.
All right, next up I have Ms. Laura Rome, and you will be followed by Miriam Omar and Christy, we just call you Christy.
Good evening. I come today to expand upon Saturday's speech on how closing Rolling Meadows affects more than just one campus. Mrs. Rhodes, the principal of Rolling Meadows, has been essential in the continued improvement of the education and training program of study at Veterans Memorial High School. The education and training program offers structured, rigorous courses for careers in teaching, coaching, social work, administration, and curriculum development. Essentially any careers that help improve a child's life. So why is Ms. Rhodes such a key contributor to the future educators of Judson ISD? Mrs. Rhodes has created a school culture of inclusivity, love, and collaboration that honestly I need more than 3 minutes to give her justice on all of that. However, what I can say in my time with you is how she has made time for me at summer to help plan. As I said, this is only our second year of having the education and training program at Veterans Memorial High School. It is at Judson and as well at Wagner. So why does Rolling Meadows make such an impact on our growing program? Because of her collaborative nature, she has helped teach her teachers to include this with my mentor teachers, with myself. Last year when I would go to observe my formal observations of my students, just like y'all formally observe us as educators, I do that with my students because they will teach a full lesson. I recognized that the rubric that I had was very much based off a high school rubric because I don't have the elementary school background. Through the collaboration with Ms. W, we have improved and implemented this rubric to where today we started our first formal evaluation of our practicum level students. And it was incredible seeing the difference, how much we've grown within this 1 year. The education and training program goes from our pre-K all the way through our 5th grade students. And I know you're thinking there's many other elementary schools within our district and you can just simply move to another elementary school. Although that may seem true, there is no guarantee that we will still have these master teachers. There is no guarantee that we will retain these teachers. Through the growth of the apartment complex, through the homes that are consistently being built on our end of Judson ISD, I believe it would only take 1 year before Selma and Wortham will be at max capacity, and we would have to open up Rolling Meadows again. So I want to piggyback on what Mr. Garza said, and please give us 1 more year and reevaluate us, because I honestly believe our numbers will grow to where we will be considered a very much essential campus. If not for our students, for the teachers and the education that they provide, the elementary as well as the high school level, and our future educators. Thank you.
Next up, we have Ms. Miriam Omar, and you'll be followed by Mrs. W. and then Heather Canales. All right, go ahead, sweet Miriam.
Good evening, members of the board. For those of you who haven't met me, my name is Mary Omar, and I'm a fifth grader at Rolling Meadows Elementary. I'm here again to speak on behalf of my school not closing, and to share why my school is unique. There's so many opportunities that make my school special. Does anyone want to guess how many extracurriculars we have? Never mind, I only have 3 minutes, so I'll just tell you. Brace yourselves, I have a long list. We have Journalism Club, Kindness Club, Math Club, Basketball Club, Drone Club, Art Stars, the National Elementary Honor Society, also known as NEHS, and A Good Life. First, Journalism Club. In Journalism Club, we learn how to write, ask questions, and share important stories and articles about our school. We work as a team and learn responsibility because our words matter. Journalism Club helps students find their voices and speak up, not just for themselves, but for others. It has helped me become a more confident and proud leader. Another program that makes my school unique is Wolf TV. In Wolf TV, my friends and I get the opportunity to announce the school news and work behind the scenes. We learn leadership skills, teamwork, and how to use the cameras and technology. We all work together to keep the news organized and clear for everyone watching. Another important program is the National Elementary Honor Society. NEHS is not just about good grades. It's about leadership, character, integrity, and service. In NEHS, students help each other, volunteer, and learn how to be role models. It teaches us that being kind and responsible is just as important as being smart. We also do a lot of fundraising. We choose a charity and raise money specifically to support that cause. We also have a strong GT program. Last year, our 5th grade GT students competed and won 3rd place in a Newberry Film Award competition. They competed against over 300 entries in Bexar County. Our students won 3rd place, and I think that's pretty impressive. All of these programs together make Rolling Meadows a place where students feel safe, supported, and excited to learn. Closing our school would mean losing these opportunities that help shape who we are becoming. Because of these activities, I can stand here today with confidence to speak to the people who have the power to close my school, or choose to keep it open. I hope that when you vote, you will choose to keep it open. Please consider the voices of the students who learn and grow here every day before making your decision. Thank you for your time.
Thank you so much, Ms. Omar, and then we're all proud. Okay, next up is Ms. W., and you'll be followed by Heather Canales and Christian Johnson, Ariel Johnson.
Good evening. My name is Christy Vodarchik, and I'm here once again representing the heart and hustle of Rolling Meadows. We began this year with a simple mission: start a wave. This idea is one small action could create a ripple, and those ripples would eventually become waves of change. Tonight, I'm proud to tell you that those waves have arrived. The shift in our campus culture is monumental. Our students and staff aren't just showing up, they're thriving. Our students are happy, they're participating, they're learning, they're coming to school. Year-to-date, staff attendance has dropped from 735 days to 226 days from this time last year. And student attendance has increased overall to 95%. Furthermore, our number of discipline referrals has dropped dramatically. At this point in the year, last year, we'd written 233 referrals compared to 109 we've written this far. Our students are happy and therefore less likely to cause issues warranting a referral. But it's not just about morale. It's about data, it's about results. Our current data shows higher averages in math and reading right now than we had at the end of last year. And we still have 3 months of growth ahead of us. This tsunami success isn't an accident. It's the direct result of strong administration, happy teachers and students, and being intentional with our decisions. It's being treated like the professionals that we are. As I stated this past Saturday, closing Rolling Meadows does not make sense. If the district is looking for efficiency, we should be looking at performance and utilization, not shuttering a success story. I'd like to propose 3 alternatives to closing our doors. 1, consolidate for growth. Rather than closing a campus that's producing excellence, move Selma student body to our building. We have the capacity, and their current facility could be repurposed for admin, ERC, and JTech, allowing the district to sell off older redundant properties. Number 2, shared innovation. Move JTech and JPD into the building with us. We have the space, and selling their current standalone buildings would provide an immediate influx of capital. And number 3, asset liquidation. Conduct a district-wide audit to sell off all portable buildings that are currently sitting unutilized. Just saying, we have 4. We are more than willing to share our space. We would welcome others into our pack. Having more wolves would help our waves of progress grow. Please do not give up on us. We're just getting started, and we deserve the chance to show you the oceans of possibility we have yet to reach. Thank you.
All right, next up is Heather Canales, and you'll be followed by Christian and Ariel Johnson, and then on deck will be Liam Freeman.
All right, good evening, Judson ISD Board. I'll introduce myself this time since I did it on Saturday. I'm Heather Canales, and I'm a product of Judson ISD. I graduated from Judson High School when it was the gray and the red campus. And now I've been a teacher for 11 years in Judson ISD and an advocate for children. And now I live outside of the district all the way in Livonia, and I commute almost 2 hours every day. And I also bring my children here every day. We don't want to go to Livonia ISD. One of them was even brave enough to speak on Saturday, standing right here, and she's only 9. So here's some different things that I'm going to go for. So growth takes time, not just space. We've been resilient. Our campus saw half of its students, staff, rezoned not once, but twice. Any organization would need recovery period after that level of disruption. Under Ms. Rhodes and Mr. Garza, the culture has shifted. The data proves that we're on an upward trajectory. We are a product that is finally ready for the market. If we invest in marketing our success now, the students will return. The risk of losing human capital, it's a real thing. We talk about closing, but a lot of people may leave just by the talk of it. Yes, there's desks that may be empty, but we can fill them. Our staff retention. My colleagues and I stay because of the work we do every single day and the people that we work with. If we close this school, there's no guarantee that our highly trained teachers and parents will simply move to a new building. You risk losing years of specialized experience to neighboring districts or even more students. Stability for our high needs population. We serve students from across the district, from Edfran, Selma, and Wortham at our campus. These are students who rely on stability. On Saturday, your data showed that our students have the farthest to travel with all schools being considered. We're asking our most vulnerable families to bear the heaviest burden and send them back even farther. Financial false economy. Look beyond these empty seats. See the potential capacity for future growth. Closing RME creates a logistical vacuum in this corner of the district that will be expensive to fix when enrollment inevitably swings back up. I'm asking you to do what is right, not just what is easy. Give us the chance and we can show you that we can be full again. The waves of change are already happening at Rolling Meadows. Please don't pull the plug just as we're reaching the shore. Let the data from this year's turnaround finish the story. That's it.
Okay, next up are Christian and Ariel Johnson, will be followed by Liam Freeman and Jackson Freeman.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Christian Johnson. This is my wife, Ariel. We're proud parents to our children in the back here with Spring Meadows. I would like to say that I don't believe any school should be shut down at all whatsoever. The board, it was as a whole, it is whose responsibility to keep up with the financial crisis that has been happening. 5 years ago, you guys were at $4 million in a deficit. How are we here now? Whose responsibility was that? Why are we gonna cause more damage to the families and parents and staff and have them have to shut their schools down because someone didn't do their job correctly? Not only are you gonna be hurting them, you're tearing family, friends apart. Let's talk about numbers. It costs roughly $5 million for one HVAC system to be replaced. And the only reason I know this is I work in the HVAC industry on the commercial side. That's a lot of money. Now, I'm not saying that's your guys' fault having to replace these units, but it could be the engineer that's in charge of how much it's gonna cost, who to look for, how to make this happen, and how to get it fixed correctly. So, there's a saying, in your own eye, while judging a speck, you should fix your own faults with clarity before you can help. So quit punishing the ones that are around you when the fault is made within your own doors. Don't shut these schools down, because it is on your shoulders and your hands. Would you guys agree?
Yes.
Oh, and one more thing. If there is any schools that are being shut down, I would like to contact the TAE, which is the Texas Audit Education. And I would, if we have to, I think we all should have the audit done by every school and every personnel in the school district. Would it be fair? Thank you.
Alright, thank you, Johnson family. Next up will be Liam Freeman, followed by Jackson Freeman, and then Sergio Parra.
Good evening, Judson ISD School Board. My name is Liam Freeman, and I am here speaking again on behalf of my school, Rolling Meadows Elementary. Every morning before the first bell rings and the first pencils hit the paper, something magical happens in our hallways. A red light flickers on. A countdown begins, and the familiar face of Wolf TV fills our screens. What started as a simple way to share announcements has grown into the heartbeat of our school's culture. At Rolling Meadows Elementary, we believe that learning should be an active, living experience. Wolf TV embodies this by turning our school into a living classroom. It enriches our learning environment in many ways. I urge you to keep Army open another year and give us the opportunity to share experiences and programs such as Wolf TV with other students that will attend Rolling Meadows. Thank you for your time.
Next up will be Jackson, followed by Sergio Parra and Cassandra.
Good evening. My name is Jackson Freeman, and I'm a third grader at Rolling Meadows Elementary. Our school motto is "Start Away," and that's exactly what we do every single day. Have you ever heard that Disney World is called the happiest place on earth? Well, I think Rolling Meadows Elementary is the happiest elementary in our whole school district. At Disney World, you see smiles, laughter, and people having fun. At Rolling Meadows, you see the same scene, except instead of characters, we have amazing teachers. Instead of fireworks, we have learning that lights up our minds. When you walk into Army, you don't just feel like you're at school. You feel welcome, you feel safe, you feel like you belong. That's what Start Away means. One smile can start a wave, one act of kindness can start a wave, one great teacher can start a wave of learning that spreads through the whole classroom. Our teachers don't just teach lessons, they care about us. They cheer us on, they help us when things are hard. They celebrate when we succeed, they make learning fun and exciting. At Rolling Meadows, we work hard, but we also build friendships. We help each other, we include everyone, no one sits alone, no one feels left out. We make sure every student feels important. If you ask me, this is exactly the school you want to save. We don't want our life to stop, we want it to grow bigger. We invite other kids to come to Rolling Meadows Elementary. Come experience the wave, come meet our great teachers, come feel the excitement when you understand something new. Come be part of a place where kindness and learning go together. Rolling Meadows isn't just a building, it's a family, it's a community, it's the happiest elementary school in our district. Let's keep our life going. Thank you.
Okay, so I'm gonna introduce myself this time as well. My name is Sergio Parra. I'm a paraprofessional at Rolling Meadows, going on my 4th year. Prior to that, I was law enforcement, graduated from the police academy, decided to try education. Best decision of my life, hands down. I am going back to school, to college, just to be a teacher, and that's thanks to my principal, the guidance of my colleagues. That wouldn't happen anywhere else. And I know because I've worked so many useless jobs in my life. I finally found my calling at 37 years old. My parents told me for the first time last year, I am proud of you. I am proud of all your accomplishments, okay? For the first time in 37 years, I've never heard that, okay? But because of this family, the guidance, the love, I'm not even reading my speech, I'm just speaking from my heart. I wrote all this thing for nothing. Right now, because of this family, because of the kids, okay? I found my calling, I found meaning, I found purpose, and it's here at Rolling Meadows, not anywhere else. You can send us somewhere else, it's not gonna be the same. It's not. I hate to be pessimistic, but it's the reality, because of Rolling Meadows itself. It's just, I don't know how else to explain it to you guys, really I don't. Unless you see it from my point of view, from their point of view, from the kids' point of view. This year I got Paraprofessional of the Year. It was like, oh my God, I was so excited. My wife is also a teacher. She teaches at Copperfield Elementary. She got Teacher of the Year. And we just love what we do so much. My wife also went back to school to get her master's. She's trying to be an admin now. We're taxpayers, we live here, we live and breathe. Judson, it's just us, really. Don't take away our home. Give us one more year, like all my colleagues are saying, give us one more year, we'll prove to you. Our numbers will go up. The community is just, like I told you last time, the parents are like, we want to come back. You guys are doing awesome things now. With roads on deck, like, oh my God, you guys are doing incredible things, let's come back. And like I said last time, come back. And they're gonna come back. They're gonna come back. They're building the new houses. I don't know why you're saying, well, that's not gonna make a difference. Yes, it is. You know how many people live in apartments? On average, a family has what, 2, 3 kids? They're building apartments, they're building homes. They're cleaning out the land right now as we speak, right next to Rolling Meadows. The land in front of Rolling Meadows, the acres, all those acres are for sale. Like, it's a no-brainer, really. Really, it doesn't comprehend, I just can't fathom it, why you guys want to close Rolling Meadows. I understand the data, the numbers and all that, but you're going to close an ecosystem, you're going to close a living, breathing ecosystem is what you're going to do. I know what it's like growing without stability. It affected me my whole livelihood, my whole entire adulthood. I wasn't, oh, you'll be fine in another school. No, I wasn't. I was not fine. It followed me all the way to adulthood until I found my family. Now it's like therapy. It's therapy for me. I'm happy. For once in my life, I can say I am happy. Happy as can be. And that's thanks to Rolling Meadows.
Sandra Kane, followed by Mrs. C, and followed by another Mrs. W. Jamie. There we go.
You said Cassandra Payne, correct?
Correct, Cassandra
Okay,
Kane, yes. Your name I know how to pronounce.
Okay, good evening, y'all. My name is Cassandra Payne, and I'm here to speak about the district's structural budget deficit and the closure of these amazing, wonderful schools. I want to begin by acknowledging an important reality. This deficit is multi-year and structural. It is not the result of a single decision, a single program, or any one of these single campuses. It stems from flat state funding, declining enrollment, rising fixed costs, and staffing levels that no longer align with actual student numbers. Because of this, one-time actions like closing schools may feel like the immediate action, but they do not solve the underlying problem. They just put a Band-Aid on a broken arm. There are, however, some system-wide strategies that can significantly reduce the deficit while preserving community schools and long-term district assets. I did give you a handout if y'all wanted to go through and look. First, district-wide staffing realignment, aligning personnel with current enrollment. This addresses the district's largest cost driver and can save millions annually. Alongside this, central office and administrative consolidation can create meaningful savings without impacting the classrooms or our schools. Second, Judson ISD has underutilized campus space. Instead of closing schools, portions of campuses can be leased to early childhood providers, special education cooperatives, and adult education partners. This generates revenue, keeps campuses active, and preserves them as our community anchors. Third, boundary adjustments and strategic program placement can balance enrollment across the district, reduce transportation inefficiencies, and improve per-student utilization. This is ensuring that our facilities are used as intended. I would also like to ask the board to consider some tuition-based pre-K programs as a part of our comprehensive solution. Now I know, we had pre-K 3, free for all, and that was scary. I am not asking for free for all, I am asking for tuition. Many families, including mine, are already paying for daycare prices, which are atrocious. Adding a public pre-K 3 option on existing campuses creates a one-stop drop for families like mine who have multiple children. It also improves transportation efficiency, fills empty classrooms, and strengthens long-term enrollment, all without needing new buildings or closures. To support these ideas, I'm providing each of you with this one-page handout summarizing these strategies, estimated savings, and a realistic 3-year timeline. See, I deviated. It offers practical data-aligned solutions that address the structural deficit without closing schools that are still relatively young and still look brand new. Finally, I respectfully encourage that the board to pause the vote on school closures. A pause would allow time to realign staffing, consolidate administration, lease unused space, adjust boundaries, and evaluate tuition-based pre-K, creating a more strategic and sustainable path forward for Judson ISD. Closing campuses may appear decisive, but these structural solutions are more equitable, fiscally responsible, and long-term for us. I urge the board to consider these alternatives before irreversible decisions are made. Because if you move forward too quickly, voters may ultimately find themselves having to move forward quickly with their decisions at the polls.
Oh, Ms. Payne, we're over your 3 minutes. I'm
Thank
so
you for
sorry.
your time.
Okay, next up, we have Danelle C., followed by Jamie W., followed by John Ramirez.
Good evening, Board of Trustees and Superintendent. My name is Danelle Salai, and I'm the Peems Clerk at Rolling Meadows Elementary. More importantly, I'm a parent in the district as well as a resident of Selma, living right between 1604 and Evans Road. I'm here tonight because the data that crosses my desk does not support the decline used to justify the potential closures of our school. In the world of Peems, we track student movement. While district office is looking to fill seats, Rolling Meadows is already filling them. Over the last 4 years, we have been a destination campus for school of choice and out-of-district families. The 22-23 school year, we had 96. 23-24, we had 111. 24-25, we had 115. And currently, we're sitting at 111. So consider this math. Those 111 families are the most mobile in our district. They already drive to come see us. So if you close our Rolling Meadows, they won't just move on to the next Judson school. They're gonna go to the charter school down the street or back to their home campus. That's almost $700,000 in annual loss in state funding that'll never come back. Since the beginning of school has started, I have received over 50 phone calls and emails from parents, both former and new inquiring parents, wanting their children to attend Rolling Meadows. Since we have returned from Christmas break, I have received over 15 phone calls. In 2022, the report justified Proposition B by citing the northern wedge, specifically the area around Lookout, as the primary growth engine of the district. We were told we needed more seats to handle the surge. In 2026, the district is now pivoting, citing a 1,500 student decline across the whole district. But a district-wide average is not a local reality. The decline is not happening in Rolling Meadows. If you look at the 22 projections, we were projected to remain stable and strong, and we have. Data proves this. You cannot deny the growth in our area. Have y'all seen the traffic? I would also like to point out that on one of the slides presented at Saturday's meeting, said that closing Rolling Meadows would put Selma to 83% capacity, would put them too close to district's capacity. So if you choose to close Rolling Meadows, you're doing so at the exact moment Bexar County and Selma are moving in to develop. Lookout Point Apartments will contain 280 units directly on Lookout Road, completed to be completed by September 2026. I have been on my campus long enough to know how highly talked about and wanted it is. I have spoken to parents directly, and I know how badly they are missing and wanting to come back, because we truly are a great community. As I wrap this up, may I please ask that when you go to make this decision, take into consideration we lost half of our population based on what was recommended just 4 years ago. Please give Rolling Meadows a chance to let these new developments finish and get our numbers back up, because I know we will. The families are already calling and the students are already coming. If you close our doors now, you are turning away the very growth you spent the 22 bond to capture. I beg you not to close the door on Rolling Meadows and the future you promised us in 2022.
All right, next up is Mrs. W., and you will be followed by John Ramirez and then Michelle Chapman.
Good evening, my name is Jamie Waychess, and I am a pre-K teacher at Rolling Meadows. I'm going to speak to what I know, and there are a few pre-K slides in your handout from Rolling Meadows. I think I would like to go off of what Ms. Payne said, because she was in the pre-K for all trenches with us at Rolling Meadows. I do propose bringing back tuition break-based pre-K4 at least, pre-K3 maybe. We have, maybe. We had 10 classrooms, you guys, when it was there. More than half of them were paying out of pocket. If we offer, they will come. I know what we provide is above and beyond the other pre-Ks in our district, not because we are, well, because we have more on our campus. Our students have a gross motor lab where they're able to go. That is not something that everyone is offered. Our students have 2 recesses a day in addition to their morning recess. We provide a place where our littlest learners make huge growth. Please consider funding us with pre-K. It makes money fast, and they will come. Like Ms. Payne said, average monthly tuition in our area for our 4-year-old is $1,200 a month. Anywhere we place our tuition underneath that, with the education we provide at Rolling Meadows, is a steal. Please give us 1 year and let us build our pre-K. I am our pre-K team lead. I promise you I will do it. The next thing I can speak to is national board certification. Judson does not offer any incentives in that. However, as soon as we certify, we bring you money and you don't have to do anything. I'm currently going through this program. I am promoting it to my peers who also want to grow their skill and be the best they can be. Let's find a way to incentivize that program and bring cash in again, free to you. Please consider. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, next up is John Ramirez, and you'll be followed by Michelle Chapman and then Victoria Garza.
Hello, my name is John Ramirez. I live and teach at the Rolling Meadows community. I'm here because the current demographer's report is leading the district toward a decision based on incomplete and misleading assumptions. The report focuses almost entirely on single-family subdivisions, and because of those subdivisions are built out, it concludes that our area has no growth. That conclusion is not just narrow, it is wrong. When you only measure one type of housing, you get a distorted picture, and that is exactly what is happening. But first, let's look at what TxDOT has done just on FM 22 alone. They've expanded it on the very road that Rolling Meadow is on. They don't do that if there isn't any future growth in that area. And there's going to be future growth. As Mr. Potter pointed out, the lots right across from Rolling Meadows are up for sale. And they are zoned for mixed use. That means, I'll get to what I'm going to get to that in a second here. It's crazy, right? All right, so again, TxDOT would not invest in the area if there wasn't any future growth, so there is going to be future growth. Also, Selma's future land use plan, right, is going to widen Lookout Road, which is also in the Rolling Meadows area. They're going to widen it to 4 lanes because of the hospital. And that hospital was built there for a reason, because there's going to be future growth in that area. And we just can't ignore those developments that are happening in the area. The third thing is the demographer focuses, ignores the multifamily homes. Apartments are currently being constructed on Lookout Road as we speak, which is not in the demographer's report at all. There's a 280 unit being built right now that is zoned for Rolling Meadows. So, and that's not gonna be the only one. Selma is trying to attract more multi-family unit housing. Fourth, the demographer report in 2022 told us that that area was going to grow, which is how you got Prop B to begin with. And now you're saying 4 years later, it's not gonna grow. So what's right, what's wrong? Were we right 4 years ago? Are we wrong today? What is it? Rolling Meadows is a stable, high-performing anchor in the corridor that is being developed right now. Closing it now, based on the report, that only tells you one small part of the story would be premature and harmful to that area. I urge the board to request a revised demographic analysis that includes multifamily development, built-to-rent communities. TxDOT plans to do stuff there. Selma plans to do stuff there. Why are we not? Thank you.
Good evening, members of the school board. My name is Michelle Chapman, and I stand before you tonight not only as a teacher of Rolling Meadows Elementary, but first and foremost as a parent whose children attend Rolling Meadows. Ella Ray is a 4th grader, and she spoke to you this past Saturday. Emma Kate is a kindergartner who loves everything about Rolling Meadows, from her teacher, Mrs. Espinosa, her friends, and most importantly, she absolutely loves morning recess. For the past 5 years, I've had the privilege of serving students here every day, and I also made the intentional choice to have my own daughters attend this school. Many of the RME staff make this intentional choice every year. We don't all live in the Judson School District. I make the drive every day to and from Stone Oak, which is a lot closer in comparison to Lavernia and St. Hedwig, did I say that correctly? New Braunfels, Spring Branch, Bernie, Fair Oaks, just to name a few. We choose to make the drive because we believe in what this school has to offer. That is not convenience. That is commitment. We set out this year to start a wave, and just like everyone else has said, we are doing it. The campus has become a beautiful and rich place for students and staff. It is rich in relationships, rich in culture, rich in support, and rich in academics. Teachers here go beyond instruction. They mentor, they advocate, they show up for our children every single day and change lives. This staff is a family. They know our children by name, they know their story, and they know us by heart. They know our children by heart. Closing this school would not just shift numbers on a spreadsheet, and that's what it feels like this board is doing, but it would dismantle a thriving community that families like mine have chosen, sometimes at great sacrifice, because it works. I understand that you are facing serious financial challenges, and I respect the weight of that decision. But before closing a school that serves children so well, I urge you to consider every single alternative. Have we explored selling unused property? I know a lot of us have said that already. Have we reviewed administrative and district level expenditures for possible restructuring? Why not consider redrawing the attendance boundaries to be more equitable? Once a school is closed, the loss is permanent. The relationships, the culture, the sense of belonging, the community support that we have right now, those are all things that cannot be reassigned or replaced or relocated. As a teacher, I see this impact at our school every day, and I see the impact that we have on the community every single day. But as a mother, I feel what is at stake for my children. And my 4th grader has been worried about it, and this is not something she should be worried about. So before I
I want to tell you, before you consider closing our school, after we have chosen you year after year, I beg you to choose our families and choose our students who have chosen you.
Next up is Victoria Garza, followed by Casey Caparelli, and after that will be Linda Ayers Atkinson.
Good evening, members of the board. My name is Victoria Garza, a proud Judson High School alumni, and I'm here tonight to speak on behalf of Rolling Meadows Elementary. I want to share something with you that cannot be measured in boundary maps or enrollment charts. It's something you cannot redraw, relocate, or replicate, and it's called den meetups. At Rolling Meadows, every single week, our school's family gathers. We alternate weekly between pre-K through second grade, third through fifth grade, so every child has the opportunity to participate. This is not just an assembly, this is the heartbeat of our campus. During den meetups, we celebrate our students publicly and intentionally. Every class, every grade level, every child sees what it means to be recognized. We celebrate a wolf of the week for every class. That means every grade level cheers on their peers from across the entire school. Our students learn that success is shared. Every class can earn an Outstanding Attendance Award, the Wolf's Way Award for exemplary cafeteria behavior, and the Wolf Spirit Award for outstanding behavior across the entire school. And when those awards are announced, the pride on our students' faces is undeniable. You can feel it, you can hear it, and you can see it. But den meetups don't just celebrate students, they celebrate our staff. Each week, our colleagues lift one another up through colleague kudos. Staff members publicly recognize the extraordinary work happening in classrooms, hallways, and behind the scenes. We celebrate teachers and staff who have been recognized by parents and families for making a difference. You cannot just move that. You cannot transfer that culture. You cannot move our students and our staff and simply insert us somewhere else and expect the sense of belonging, recognition, and pride to survive. And our data proves it. According to our fall staff survey, 94% of our staff feel that someone at work cares about them, 90% would recommend working at Rolling Meadows to other educators, and 90% say that our school climate is positive for everyone. And our parents feel it too. According to our fall parent survey, 90% of our parents say that their child enjoys coming to school. 92% say that their child feels safe at Rolling Meadows. 93% would recommend our school to other families. That is not accidental, that is not random, that is culture, that is community, that is Rolling Meadows. Den meetups represent something deeper than an assembly. They represent connections. They represent a staff culture where adults feel valued, and when adults feel valued, students thrive. This is not something every campus has. This is not something you can replicate. I ask you give us one more year so this can be something we do in our community suites to entice families to bring their families here. Thank you.
Followed by Linda Ayers Atkinson, and then Melissa Morgan, you are on deck.
Hi, I'm Casey Caparelli. I have been in this district for a very long time. I left and chose to come back for a reason. What I'm going to talk to you about is also in your packet from Rolling Meadows. Number one is safety, and in today's world, we want our kids to be safe. We want our staff to be safe. At Rolling Meadows, safety is our top priority. Our pod doors have magnets that will be released quickly to secure the pods so no one can enter. There is an emergency button. And once pushed, our pods, our babies, are safe and locked down. We have been praised on our lockdown drills by the police, saying by far we were the quickest and most efficient team. Not school, team, because we worked together. The police were so impressed with the tactics used to barricade our doors and to hide our babies. Because at Rolling Meadows, we do whatever it takes to protect our babies. At dismissal, we have grade level checklists that account for every student daily.
At dismissal, we also have digital dismissal. It helps track the students when they're picked up, and it has a timestamp. This is saved in a folder. Students' names appear on a TV in the foyer. The name represents the code number. The kids have already been trained. They look at the TV screen, they see their name pop up, and they already know what cone to go to. It's efficient and they're safe. Also, in dismissal, we have color-coded tags for each student, and it's on their backpack, so they can't take it off. These are just some of the ways that RME prioritize safety. This sets us apart and will allow us to market ourselves to families to drive enrollment. Give us one more year to build our numbers and to market ourselves. Because ultimately, parents want to know that their babies are safe when they go to school. So just give us one more year to continue the amazing things that we're doing. Because clearly, we love our job and we love working for you guys. So let us do our job for you. Thank you.
Next up is Linda Ayers-Hutchinson, followed by Melissa Morgan, and then Larissa Teresa.
Hello, I am Linda Ayers-Atkinson. I attended Olympia Elementary for 4th grade. I worked at Elof Elementary in 2014 in the SPED department. And for the last 5 years, I worked at Rolling Meadows as a single mother with my 3 boys also attending. The first 2 years, I was part of the pre-K party until our pre-K program was significantly cut after Dr. Ball left the district. I had to decide whether to gamble on there being a pre-K slot available to me the next year or take another opening. With 3 children, gambling wasn't an option. So I moved up to kinder and had to watch the less fortunate get moved elsewhere. After being in kinder for 2 years, I found myself taking a gamble again as redistributions were being made with the opening of Selma. This began my journey in 4th grade, science and social studies. Despite also moving to the Bernie, Leon Springs area this past summer and having to commute 45 minutes to an hour one way, I'm grateful to have had the privilege to remain at RME this year under the leadership of our principal, Charissa Rhodes. This is the first year we have been unified as a staff in our purpose and vision. We have all been intentional in starting a wave of kindness, a wave of hard work, a wave of unity. It has been exciting to see how it affects students, attendance, test scores, and ourselves. Our campus is finally healthy and flourishing. We understand that there is a financial crisis and plans to produce change must be made. We don't understand why we're starting here. Is closing 4 schools really the best first resort, or should it be a last resort? Is closing a healthy, happy school ever a good choice unless absolutely necessary? If necessary, why not close a school that functions poorly or fails to perform? When it comes to district decisions like this of the present, as well as the past and future, are the effects of them being felt equitably throughout the staff of the district? Are you sure the pros outweigh the cons in this decision? Is the dent that this decision will make to our budget deficit big enough to make it worth displacing or losing this many students and staff? If we want to boost enrollment, is this a decision that's going to attract families to Judson ISD? According to our JISD beliefs, Judson ISD believes that positive relationships among students, staff, families, and community members make them feel valued, safe, and trusted, so they will be involved and empowered to make informed decisions about the future and our district and students. As you can see, due to our positive relationships, the staff at RME is involved. We set goals and we make plans. We want our school as well as our school district to overcome this financial crisis and to succeed. With the data presented, we disagree that closing RME will provide financial benefits large enough to outweigh the negative effects it will have on our students, community, staff, and district. Thank you.
Is Melissa Morgan, followed by Marissa Trevino, and then Robert Garza, number 2.
Good evening, members of the board, administrators, and community. My name is Melissa Morgan,
and I have the privilege of serving as the PTO president for Rolling Meadows Elementary. I'm here tonight not just as a parent, but as someone who has seen firsthand what this school means to the children and families it serves. Rolling Meadows is more than a building. It is a community anchor, a place where students feel safe, seen, and supported from the moment they walk through the door. Many of our families rely on the stability the school provides. It's within walking distance for a large portion of our students, and its size allows them to learn in an environment where they are known by name, not by number. If Rolling Meadows were to close, the impact on our children would be immediate and profound. Students would be uprooted from trusted teachers, familiar routines, and school cultures built on relationships. Many would face longer commutes and more crowded classrooms, creating new barriers to attendance, engagement, and emotional well-being. For families already juggling work, transportation, and childcare, these changes would be small inconveniences. They would be daily challenges that interrupt learning and stability. And yet, Rolling Meadows continues to prove its value. Our teachers work tirelessly to support students in ways that go far beyond academics. This school consistently provides family engagement, after-school support, and a learning environment that feels personal and attentive. These are the very qualities research shows matter most for student success, especially for younger learners who depend on routine, familiarity, and consistent adult support. Location and capacity also matter deeply in this conversation. Rolling Meadows is uniquely positioned to serve the neighborhoods around it. Its size allows for manageable class ratios, giving teachers the ability to address individual students' needs effectively. When we talk about capacity, we're not just talking about desk and square footage. We're talking about a school's capacity to nurture, to guide, and to give students the attention they deserve. Rolling Meadows does that exceptionally well. Administration and staffing also matters in this conversation. This year, with the new administration of Ms. Rhodes and Mr. Garza, has made a huge impact, with several wanting to return. I know we will see an increase in numbers. Give us that chance to show you that it can be done, not only through registration drives, but community outreach. Let us give you at least one more year to show you Rolling Meadows can bring back those thriving numbers we had. Jumping to closure of 3 schools is just huge. Closing a school is not just a numerical decision, it is a human one. It affects the emotional security of children, the trust of families, and the strength of surrounding community. When we look at Rolling Meadows, we see a school that is still doing the work, still lifting students up, still providing value, still meeting families where they are. Tonight, I ask you to see what we see every day, a school that matters, a school that works, a school worth keeping open. On behalf of our students, our teachers, our families, and our community, and I gotta say my PTO ladies, I respectfully ask that Rolling Meadows remain a place where children can learn, grow, and belong. Thank you.
Followed by Janae Patterson.
Good evening, board members and superintendent. We are coming to you live, not from the newsroom, but from the next chapter of Judson ISD. Tonight's headline, 3 elementary schools may close. Wait, what? Rolling Meadows? That was my school. Oh no, cut to the field, guys.
Hi, I'm Miriam Owen, reporting live to talk about where our first books were read, friendships were made, and Pizza Fridays are sacred. Hi, I'm Mercy Connor, to tell you Rolling Meadows is where I learned my multiplication facts, and I bet I could finish more than you in a minute, and get more right.
Hi, I'm Zaylee, and I learned how to play the recorder at Rolling Meadows. I can play the best version of Hot Cross Buns you ever heard. Who cares if I was off key?
Excuse me. We can't just sit here and talk about how great our schools are and be sad. We as parents need to stand up and show them.
Is this a breaking news, breaking interruption?
We won't stand here only to ask you to save our school. As parents, we want to work together with the school to strengthen them. After all, enrollment is not just a Rolling Meadows issue. This is a district-wide concern. Even after you were to close 3 elementary schools, your enrollment will still decline. So here are some solutions that parents can help work with the school on.
Community open house. Invite neighborhoods, families to come join us.
Pre-K and kinder roundup events where we can set up booths at local churches, apartment complexes, and community centers. We can help families enroll on the spot and have family events to showcase academics and culture from the school.
Social media parenting. Parents share positive stories, photos of events, and academic wins. Weekly district approved spotlights.
Neighborhood door flyers. Friendly outreach reminding families enrollment is open, and HOA informational meetings to explore further outreach opportunities.
Partnerships with local businesses. Businesses sponsor greeting nights or family festivals. Do something like an enroll here, get a free snow cone night. Schools don't grow by accident. They grow when communities stand up.
It appears the story is still being written. In the headline, you might just read, Rolling Meadows fights back with hope.
You do?
And that's why this matters. Don't let our school be over yet. If you allow us the opportunity, the strategies we build here can become a model for other campuses. Because this isn't just about one school, it's about how we respond as a district when enrollment shifts. So do we shrink or do we adapt? Thank you. That's just a 12-month growth idea plan to give out to you guys to just kind of look at.
I'd appreciate it, yes. Ms. Holmes, you can pass it down the dais while we listen to Mr. Garza. That way we get a chance to look at it. Thank you. All right, so next up is Mr. Garza, and he will be followed by Janae Patterson and Marcy Connor. All right, go ahead, Mr. Garza.
Good afternoon. My name is Robert Garza, and I'm here to respectfully ask you to reconsider closing Rolling Meadows Elementary School. If enrollment is being cited as a justification, we must look at the full context. During the 24-25 school year, Rolling Meadows enrolled just shy of 700 students. This year, after district opened a nearby elementary school campus and adjusted the attendance boundaries, enrollment dropped to approximately 400 students. That's a reduction of almost 300 students in 1 year. The decline did not happen organically. It followed rezoning. Closing the campus now effectively penalizes Rolling Meadows for a structural shift created by the district planning. Sorry. At the same time, this area is growing. As many people have said, multiple large apartment complexes and housing developments are currently under construction. Closing the school in a path of expansion could create a shortfall in capacity within just a few years. If finances are the concern, let's look at the numbers. The utility cost right now that's been cited is the cost is $418 per student. That figure is based on today's enrollment of roughly 400 students. But if you use that same number with last year's enrollment of 700 students, that number drops to about $240. That's almost a 40% difference because the boundaries were changed. Research also shows school closures often save less than projected once transportation, staffing, and security costs are included. Vacant campuses are not cost-free. They require maintenance, monitoring, and insurance. Empty public buildings frequently become targets of vandalism and theft. Our communities are already experiencing visible housing instabilities. A homeless encampment was recently displaced less than 2 miles from the campus. An unsecured vacant building could become the unintended destination, creating safety concerns and additional financial strain for the district. Most importantly, it's about the children. Research consistently shows elementary students especially experience academic and emotional disruption after school closures. Stability matters. My son has attended Rolling Meadows since he first started school. Teachers who know him and see him, friends he's built, are relationships that can last a lifetime. These relationships cannot simply be reassigned. This is not just a building, It's a stable in our community, it's an anchor in a growing area. I urge you to reconsider the long-term growth, true financial impact, and the human cost before making such a permanent decision. Choose strategy, choose stability, and choose to keep Rolling Meadows open. Thank you.
Next up is Janae Patterson, followed by Marcy Connor, followed by Dr. Evans.
Good evening, everyone. I want to just pivot real quick and start by briefly expressing my concern with the oversight that the Growth and Planning Committee was given during this process. I think it is very important for this to be further discussed to help make corrections for the future. With all due respect to everyone, the decision on which schools made the final consolidation list should have been made by the cabinet based on data because they are the experts. The cabinet did try to do this, but then they admittedly changed the list because of complaints from the Growth and Planning Committee members. At one of the previous meetings, the committee members were even told that they were giving input and that the cabinet might make changes based on the data they are privy to. This is a reasonable policy. Important district decisions should not be made based on outcries from a small, select group. Listening to stakeholders is important, but we must make sure all stakeholders are included and listened to. The change was about appeasement, not data. The board can still right this wrong. As you continue to make many difficult decisions, I ask that thoughtful consideration be given to what happened in this situation so that it won't be repeated. This is not a slight towards the Growth and Planning Committee members. I appreciate what they are doing to help the district, but we should not have a repeat of this situation with any further decisions. I hope that this is kept in mind as important decisions continue to be made. And I am not saying I would want another school in our place being considered for consolidation. I wouldn't want any other school to be in this position. I just want the processes in which we make decisions to be better. Now, on to our wonderful Rolling Meadows. We have a lot of unique programs at Rolling Meadows. We are the only school with an Anchor for Life program that supports students with major life changes by giving comfort kits. We have a robust Watch Dogs program for our dads to volunteer in the school, and we have many other great programs. Our campus also has a high special education population in which 30% of our students are a part of this program. We are an attractive school for students with special needs because of our special education department. This is a benefit for the district. There are many opportunities that we can partake in to try to raise our enrollment and generate revenue. Rolling Meadows could be a satellite campus next year for strategies and programs that we can use to raise enrollment across the district. We will be able to find out what works and what doesn't and can use that as a district roadmap moving forward. To name a few ideas, we could do community sweeps and put on school showcases to advertise all of the unique opportunities at our campus. We also have 4 portables on our campus that can be sold. There are so many ideas and opportunities. The district has not even done a deep dive into the budget yet. Please allow Rolling Meadows 1 year to implement a plan to increase enrollment and give yourself time to look at the budget and to see if any of our plans work and can benefit the entire district. Thank you so much for your time and consideration.
Next up is Marcy Connor, followed by Dante Evans, followed by Nicholas Crawford. Oh, hello, ma'am. Go ahead.
Thank you. Good evening, esteemed members of the board. My name is Marcy Connor, and I'm here to represent Rolling Meadows. One reason why I love RME is because of the extracurricular activities. We have Safety Patrol and Kindness Club, which practice responsibility and leadership. We have a track team, which helps kids get more exercise, and we have den meetups every Friday, which encourages kids to get better attendance. We have a gifted and talented program, which encourages kids to think outside the box. Me and my friends and I are in the picture over there showing our cardboard challenge. We have a journalism club, which helps kids with their writing skills, a drone club, which gives students a head start with electronics. And finally, I'll give our wonderful attendees some credit. We have 2 amazing art teachers and 2 reliable coaches. This strengthens our knowledge in PE and art. The other teachers here, of course, are amazing too. And not to mention our magnificent group of students. please don't take away their privilege of coming here. All of these extraordinary things will be destroyed if you shut down our school. So, please take my request into consideration and give us one more year. Thank you.
Next up is Dante Evans, followed by Nicholas Crawford, followed by Azain Harris, and you can correct that pronunciation when it's your turn if I said that wrong.
Hello to the board, good evening, God bless, and thank you all for having us here and for being here tonight. First and foremost, I want to just kind of go over some of the things that were talked about on Saturday as to why some of these buildings are closing. But before I do that, I want to call on the resignation of Ms. Monica Ryan. Under your leadership, we approved in 2022 a 345 bond approval for overcrowding, specifically for Rolling Meadows, which is why you guys built Selma. Now you're saying we're underutilized. That makes 0 sense. 0. You take a school that was phenomenal in numbers, and some of these people have pointed out today, our numbers have been steady, they've been strong, they've been healthy. You took that away from us because of your missteps. With the money that we approved to you in 2022, you came back last year and asked for another $27 million that we turned down. When I went to the post, I did not know where that money was going to, why I was being asked, because of the lack of marketing. Charter schools are taking our kids. My nephew goes to an idea school. His cousin goes to an idea school. His sister and his brother goes to an idea school. All within your area. There's been 0 marketing for this area, for this school district, to say, hey, we need money for X, Y, and Z. Under your leadership, this board has been tumultuous. Let me cite something that Ms. Poteet said last year when she got elected. And I quote, transparency will be key. This has been anything but a transparent process. Less than 2 weeks ago, I was not worried about this school closing at all. Saturday, I was here to talk to you guys and compelled to come talk to you guys because we're closing. I'm gonna call on you guys to go ahead and suspend this vote. You said yourself last year when we were talking about closing down one of the elementary schools, it's too soon to make a decision on that. You yourself said that. Unless we sit here in less than 2 weeks ago, we were not talking about this school closing, and now we're here. We're talking about making a rash decision without looking at all your options. What options have you looked at as a leader? As a board president, have you explored and exhausted all of your options available to you? Have you listened to everything, such as Mr. Messias was talking about on Saturday, which you were not here, which you should have been here to listen to your constituents, because you weren't. You were at a leadership training, and your lack of leadership is why we're here in this first place. I'm calling on your resignation. And I promise you, next year, you guys are going to be asking for more money. More money. 2024, $25 million deficit. That's 3 years, 2 years after you asked for a $345 million bond.
Mr. Evans, we're at our 3 minutes.
That's fine, I'll keep talking. You can kick me out just like kick the lady out. But I'm gonna go ahead and get my point across the board. Just for a second, just for a second.
Disrespectful of the people who stuck to their 3 minutes. And
You are
we'll
a
do that
board
rule,
president,
sir.
and I'm calling on your
Okay, this
resignation.
is now
Thank you.
your second warning, sir. Thank Next up is Nicholas Crawford, and you'll be followed by Azain Harris.
Can you go first? My foot's asleep.
Go.
Well, that's the first
Yes. Azain, start working your way that direction, and Nicholas is gonna work on it, all right? Thank you. You have 3 minutes, Nicholas, to unsleep your feet. Please make sure, did I say your first name correctly?
Yeah, you said it good.
Azain, okay, all right, go ahead, the floor is yours.
Hello, everybody. My name is Azain Harris.
I will say, I never went to Rolling Meadows as a kid, right? And I'm also fairly new to the Judson ISD district. I came in 8th grade. But I will say, Judson ISD did allow for me to pursue a creative direction. I am now in art and humanities, that's my endorsement, and I am going and achieving great things, as you know, I won a competition. But I have visited the Rolling Meadows Elementary School, and I have to say, it is by far one of the best elementary schools I have ever seen. The building looks amazing. The people are amazing. The kids are amazing. I went during their event, it was a Christmas event, and I got to see all the creative artwork that they had up, and I gotta say, it was amazing. All the events they had, there was fishing, mini golf, it was amazing. I loved it. And I was a high schooler. I'm a high schooler having one of these different events. So you know they did amazing.
He's in the packet.
You know, I feel Rolling Meadows has truly nurtured their creativity in ways that I have never seen before, you know. Back when I was in elementary school, I would never be able to go and do some of the stuff they're doing. I would never be able to go and create and have the confidence to come up here and do all the stuff they've shown you today. Like, just look at all the walls, you know, it's everywhere. You know, I gotta admit, I've just never seen kids this amazing, this creative, and this confident before in my entire life. And I know it's not long in my life, I don't have like 16 years. I think that's worth saying something, you know. And that's about all I have to say. I just don't close down the school. Keep nurturing their creativity, because I know for sure everyone there will go far and very far.
As you've heard many people say, this is a permanent solution to a temporary problem. We all know the school is going to get better. It's like judging an airline by how well they did during COVID, right? It's going to, population's going to increase. We're going to get the school filled back up. And we just need, like a lot of people said, one more year. It's going to increase. And what I've noticed in my time as an intern there, I interned there as part of what is offered at Veterans Memorial High School. Very fun experience. The community there, it's something you don't see from an outside perspective. The community there compared to what I had to go through in elementary school, what I had to go through based on what I looked like, it is night and day. I don't see bullying, I don't see disrespect, I see love, I see friendship, I see things forming between these kids, these fourth graders that I teach, that I could have never imagined when I was in their same grade level. It is a wonderful community that you can see brought up here. Look at the schools that showed up, look at the schools that didn't. It is a wonderful community that loves their school. And I just have to say, the discord, the confusion brought upon, seeing online, seeing about how we didn't know about the districts changing, the schools closing, all that stuff, how we didn't know it until we pulled up, a lot of you pulled up on Saturday just to see it for the first time. I think there needs to be more exposure, more communication between the board and the schools, especially when they're making such a big decision like this. So I hope that they can make the best decision for the school. Thank you.
Okay, we'll move on to our one agenda item.
Ms. Ryan, I move that we suspend action for the closure of Rolling Oaks Elementary School for the 26-27 year.
Okay, I have a motion by Mr. Macias.
I like that.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. I will motion to postpone that motion until we give Dr. Jack Litch an opportunity, because he has a few more things to present to us. I would like to hear from the superintendent before that. So I have a motion to postpone.
We can keep that motion while he discusses. We don't have to postpone. If you have something to report out before we vote on it.
We already made a motion, so we have to.
I know,
act
but
on
you
it.
can still
So I'm
talk.
motioning to postpone, sir. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, I have a motion to postpone, until the superintendent has presented and the board has had a chance to discuss. Second by Ms. Potteet. Any discussion of the postpone?
Yes,
Go ahead, Ms.
I do.
Potteet.
So, as I said again, we don't need to postpone because it's extra motion that we don't need. The motion's on the floor to suspend action on closure. If Dr. Jackwich has more to add that's relevant to that campus, I'd love to hear it. That way we go campus by campus, and I'm not hearing things about Park Village or Ed Franz or any of these other schools. So Dr. Jackwich, do you have something specific for Rolling Meadows?
Oh, and could I clarify, what is a motion to suspend? Sorry, we just went through Robert's Rules class yesterday.
Which
with
means
the
not to take
attorneys.
action.
Okay,
To suspend
There's no-
taking any action for closing the school.
That's not okay, right?
Right now it's on the agenda for school closure, so I'm asking that we suspend any
I'm just saying,
action.
sir, and there's no such thing as a motion to suspend. That's all I was asking, because we just went through class yesterday.
There is a motion to suspend. If you want me to change the words, I'm happy to do that, but suspend means stop. So I could say stop,
Oh,
don't
sir,
do
that's a
it,
no
don't go,
vote.
whatever
Sir,
you
that's a
want.
no vote. Then you
So-
vote no on this.
No, I move that we suspend, stop, don't
Okay.
do it, don't vote yes. Don't vote to
Okay.
close the school. I mean, so
Okay.
bottom line is, Dr. Jacobs, I asked him a question. Can you specifically in your presentation divide out
So we're
what you're going to
discussing the
present?
motion to postpone.
I know, and this is relevant to that postponement. Dr. Jacobs, can you specifically talk about Rolling Meadows? And you don't have to go into details, just.
In our presentation, we have Rolling Meadows and all the other schools that we talked about on Saturday in our data. They all coincide with each other. So I would like to have the opportunity to present our presentation in full because Rolling Meadows, along with the other schools, encompass throughout the entire presentation.
Is any of the data new? Did you present this Saturday already?
Sir, yes, we did, but we have some
Okay.
additional updated data that is very similar. When we talked to the demographer today, we want to make sure that we provide that information to the full board, and that does specifically coincide with Rolling Meadows.
I still think we can, and again, we'll vote for postpone, that's on the floor right now, but I still believe that we can proceed with just hearing Rolling Meadows with my motion that's on the floor. So I'll yield at this point.
Any other discussion of postponing until after Dr. J presents? If not, we'll vote on the motion to postpone.
And for the record, Dr. J can still answer after if this does not pass.
Okay, so just for clarity's sake, we're postponing Mr. Macias's motion until Dr. J.
Correct.
Okay.
Okay. If no further discussion of that, we'll proceed to vote on a motion to postpone. Okay, motion to postpone passes 4-0. So go ahead, Dr. J. The floor is yours and Dr. Marshall. Thank you.
4-0?
I'm sorry, 4-3, sorry. I missed that.
Well, good evening, Madam President, members of the Board of Trustees. We're here tonight to give our final presentation regarding the recommendation of closing 3 schools as per the board agenda. One of the things I would like to share is that it's been said, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And so I'd really like to give a shout out and recognize the students, the parents, the community members, everybody here tonight that shared their story about their school. It was a very moving story, and it's something that I took great pride in as being part of this district, because we care so much about our kids. We care so much about the people we work with. And we talk about organizations that are successful and that are strategic and they retain quality employees. And the other saying is people don't quit organizations, they quit people. And here, it's very clear, our people are happy and our people are taken care of and our students are very successful. And in our presentation tonight, we want to say that we absolutely honor that. But the data, as we showed on Saturday, and we're going to show you now, shows that if we're going to attack and tackle that financial crisis that we are facing right now, we have to make some difficult decisions. And there's also a time to act and a time to wait. And the Judson ISD, we really need to start thinking about taking that action, and you will see that in our presentation as soon as we get it up. And I think we are ready to go. Okay? So we're going to recap. We see the three campuses that are on the recommendation list, and we're going to discuss the reasons why they are on there. The selection factors that were used were the current enrollments, the future enrollment trends, and those were spoken to this evening. Housing and multifamily growth, which we have an update on that for you as well. The utilizations of the resources that we currently have in our district, and the proximity to and the capacity of the feeder schools that we talked about. And then again, the financial implications in our school district if we don't take any actions, and if we do take actions. And so I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Gosh to continue with the data.
So just briefly as a recap, one of the things, this is the current enrollment. We did want to point out the utilization of the campus. One of the things that when we went and decided the number of campuses and presented the data to the district for the consolidation of campuses, it did have to do with schools that had less than 50% utilization. And we were specifically looking at that. Based on that, you can see the utilization of the three campuses we have here. And as you have heard today, we do have many school of choice and out-of-district students that attend these campuses, which helps us to get to that 41%. Our utilization based on zone, which are the students that live in the area, those are significantly lower.
Dr. Gosh,
Yes,
I was
sir.
told that there was new information. Can you point out when you're going through here what's new that we didn't see on Saturday?
Absolutely. I am getting ready to
So
do
we
that,
saw
sir.
the slide on
Yes, sir.
Saturday, right?
You
Okay.
saw that last slide on Saturday, yes, sir.
And for the record, last time we had new information provided less than 72 hours, Ms. Ryan did not want to discuss it because it was budget related. So I just want you to know, I'm sensitive. I understand we have adjustments, but this information should have been given to us in advance. So I'm just putting that for the record, there's hypocrisy here.
Yes, sir. Well, for the record, I would like to respond. One of the questions that we received from our board members was, are you sure that we, on the Rolling Meadows side, do we have any growth? Is there anything, there's farmland behind there? What does the demographer say about the growth? So we called the demographer and we wanted to make sure, and you got that information last night, sir.
72 hours, and we got updates too.
Mr. Macias, the question had just been
I'm
asked on
just
Sunday.
responding to the response.
Correct.
We didn't
Yes.
get 72 hours last time, we had to postpone discussion on budget in December.
Mr. Macias, I'd like to pause you for just a moment because the information that I'm sharing with you, I didn't share in the presentation directly. However, every single item that I am showing you right now was in your packet that you received last week before the meeting that we held on Saturday. I don't know if you read the entire packet or the full demographer packet that was
My
there,
point is,
but the information was provided.
if that's the case, then I don't need to see the presentation again. If it's been provided, we just proceed with the vote. So I don't know what this sales job is. Go ahead.
Yeah, Dr. Gosh and
Yes,
Dr.
ma'am.
McLeish, you can complete the presentation and
Okay.
so we can
Yes.
just get this moving. Thank you.
So One of the other pieces we do want to point out is the overall district enrollment. This was included in the packet, however, we did not necessarily point this out to the board specifically. We do want to point out that the total enrollment for the district was projected in September based on current enrollment at 22,697 students. We are currently sitting at 22,487. That is 210,000 students less. This is important information because we are talking about the need to consolidate schools based on overall declining enrollment. In terms of the housing development, this information was also included in the demographer's report, but we did not necessarily cover it on Saturday. We do want to point out the areas in green are the areas that are identified as active housing units within the district. These are the only locations right now that we are showing active growth in the district in terms of housing developments. The areas in yellow are also the areas which you will see down here in the Millers Point area, and there are a few others where we have future development. I know that there has been a lot of discussion about a lot of dirt moving and so on around Rolling Meadows. We did speak with the demographer today to confirm what that development was, and it is an industrial warehouse project. As of right now, there are not any new developments for single housing, for homes anywhere in that particular area over the course of the next 5 years, and we did receive that information, a confirmation of that today, so it does match the data that we were provided. In terms of your multifamily overview, this was also included in the demographer's report. The items that you see in the light blue here are areas for future development. Yes, there is one active area right here that's an 82-unit piece that is getting ready to open right there on Hatbooker Road. There is a development of 260 multifamilies that are under construction in the general area. Down here in the southern end, which is currently the end of Rolling Meadows, that is potentially a unit that may be developed over time with 146 units, and the other unit is already in the Selma area. These are the multifamily units that have been reported. You can see the other ones in the lower areas of the district. So in terms of apartment complexes that would greatly affect, it was also stated by the demographer based on these multifamily homes and situations, the expected growth in numbers of students is not expected to be large enough to truly impact a change should you have individuals in those future planning developments open. We do want to reiterate the fact that with the closures of the 4 schools, we can see a utilization of all of our middle schools at 71%, and also a utilization of our elementary schools at 71%. That is a 30% increase in utilization. So by consolidating the 4 schools, which is equivalent to $7 million of savings and or about 19% of our total deficit. We do want to share with you the next steps that the district plans to take in terms of addressing the communities, addressing our schools, and working with everyone to work through this process. We will be meeting individually with each one of the campuses affected by this. We have in fact already met with Judson Middle School through this process. We have a human resources team process that we will go through this as we meet individually with each employee and discuss with them what this transition looks like, help to work through the process of identifying where we can best use their talents, try to keep them with their students, and so on. We are looking to obtain feedback from principals, staff, and district leadership on the actual drawing of the boundary lines. As we have said, there's still work that needs to be done on the boundary lines, so we will be looking for that feedback through these next immediate steps following a vote on a closure. We will be looking at the programs. One of the things that we have identified, and many people have talked about this today as well, is we do want to work to eliminate some program inequities across the district. So we are looking and wanting that feedback from those campuses. What are the programs that you have at your campuses? What are the clubs? What are those organizational things that we can look at and look at our other campuses? And do they have similar clubs? Do we have things that we can combine? Can we take some of the great things that we have and work with our campuses to create those areas that really help our students to thrive? We do want to then look at how we establish our academic programs and our reassignments and the relocation of that information. We will publish a closure timeline to help everybody understand exactly what this looks like. In most cases, districts have a little bit more time, so the timeline, and for us to establish that timeline is extremely important. We will have a district transition team that will work with our campuses overall, as well as establishing teams on the individual campuses to help with the transition as we move through this process. Obviously, the enrollment timeline and the registration processes will also change, and so we will be communicating that. And we will be working, I know one of the big concerns is the transfer of student data between the campuses, so we have a process that we will work through with the faculty and staff to address that as well as the packing and moving of those resources. And finally, we want to address the family students and our community within this. As we begin to finalize those boundary lines, we do want their input. We have heard from families that are concerned about how this affects the rest of the district. Because it is a boundary change for more than just those that we are looking at consolidating. And we want to share that with the community as well as get the input from them on that process as well. We will need to reestablish bus and transportation routes, and we will do that as soon as the boundary lines are settled. We will also begin the process of launching a district website that will provide frequently asked questions, provide the moving logistics, and really share with our community the processes that we are going through internally, in terms of helping to support our faculty members, helping to support our campuses, and helping their students feel welcome at the individual sites. We will look for the input as well from our families and our students to eliminate those school inequities that we spoke about earlier within the programs. We have already spoken about developing school tours for families and students in the locations that they would be attending school. Scheduling community meetings at these sites so that we can get the community involved and help to keep those pieces running well. Again, the closure timeline is important here, as well as enrollment and registration. We will need to establish a new process for school of choice and our out-of-district transfers. We do and my sister was a teacher at Live Oak Elementary. And I would come in and I would help her set up her classroom, and I have those memories. And then I can also say, as having been a teacher at Judson High School, that my time at the Gray campus, which is the Judson Middle School, when I go onto that campus, it is always Judson High School to me. And many people only see it as Judson Middle School. And so we want to preserve those memories that people have. And we also want institutions, and we feel like our Growth and Planning Committee can really help us to work with that and to really help celebrate those things. So that is a really important piece of this, that we recognize this is a difficult decision, but we also want to celebrate the things that our faculty and our teachers and our students and our communities have done. And then lastly, really work on the repurposing. I know there's some concerns that these buildings will be left empty, that we will not be using them. We definitely want to begin the process of examining how can we utilize these sites to generate revenue? How can we utilize these sites to help with our district processes and what that looks like so that we don't have buildings that are sitting there and not being utilized?
Okay, thank you, administration.
I still move that we suspend action for the closure of Rolling Meadows Middle School for the 26-17
research. That is not a valid motion. There is no such thing as a motion to suspend, so I will.
I move that we do
Sir,
not
sir, do not interrupt the chair, sir.
I think it is a valid one.
Sir,
Where's
I'm
our
just
legal?
gonna keep
Let's
speaking
go to
then,
closed
you have
session
not
and
been
talk about this
recognized.
illegal, because I believe it's a valid
I
motion.
move to close
I have
Park
a valid
Village,
motion,
Blended
Ms.
Learning
Ryan.
Academy, Franz Leadership Academy, and Rolling Meadows Elementary, effective at the end of 2025-2026 school year.
Ms. Ryan, I have the floor. I have the floor,
Okay,
and if
just
the motion was
Robert's
wrong,
rules for
I
the
should have an
audience.
opportunity to repeat my motion.
We have a motion,
No,
a
I made a
second,
motion.
and a discussion. Sir,
I made a motion, and just because you said it, I should have an opportunity to remake the motion then. You don't take over my space.
Do I have a second?
Excuse me, point of order. Mr. Macias made a motion. You asked to have it postponed until after the discussion. We are now back at the point where his
Yes, ma'am.
motion is live.
Okay, and that is not a valid motion. We're moving
Well, I don't know, I want legal to weigh in on that, because I disagree with you.
I am going to second the motion.
All right,
However,
hold on.
Mr. Macias,
It's
go
not
ahead
legal.
and make your other motion right now. Go ahead.
There's no motion on the floor. I want to be clear. I don't want to be saturated with all kinds of motions. Did you withdraw yours?
We're not withdrawing.
Because
Mr.
I have
Macias,
the
there is
floor.
no such thing as a motion to suspend.
I want to go into closed
There's
session.
no such
I want to go
thing,
into
sir.
closed session and talk to legal about the legality
I
of that
just
motion,
Googled.
because I think you're
Sir.
wrong.
Rules. It's not.
I
This
want
was in the
I want
docket
to
the whole
talk
time
to
you were the
legal
president.
about this. I'm asking to talk to our attorneys and go into closed session to validate that.
Point of order. You cannot have two motions on the floor at the same time.
Correct. You can only
Mr.
have one valid
Macias made a motion to suspend action on Rolling Meadows Elementary. That is not to, what you're trying to say he's saying is incorrect.
Ma'am,
His
there's no
motion
such
is to take no action, correct?
That is
That's
correct.
the intent of your motion?
Okay,
That
that's
is
all then.
correct.
No.
So that is a motion and a second, and now it needs a vote.
Okay, so are you motioning to postpone? Is that what you're doing?
I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. Let's go to closed session and talk to the attorneys, because I think you're wrong. So let's go find out if I can legally make that motion. Then I'll change it. But I have a
And
motion
you want to
on the
make all
floor.
these families wait?
I think we need to do it. You're the one making them wait. I want to make sure I can
Pursuant to
tell you
Texas
you're wrong.
Government Code, section 551.071, we will adjourn into closed session to consult with the attorney on agenda item, sorry, I lost my agenda, is it 3A? 3A. The time is now 6:51 PM.
But then y'all shut him down. You gave her a second. Stop her this second. This would be.
Give me a little break. Yeah. Forgot about my microphone.
All right, the time is now 6:59 p.m. The board will reconvene in open session. No final action, decision, or vote was taken while the board was in closed session. All right, based on legal guidance, you cannot suspend an action that has not yet been taken. So, Mr. Macias, you have a different motion to make?
Yes,
Go ahead, sir.
based on our attorney's recommendation, that I move that we do not close Rolling Meadows Elementary School for the 26-27 school year.
Okay, second.
Motion by Mr. Macias, second by Ms. Stanford. Any discussion?
Yes.
Go ahead, sir. Well, he made the motion. You want to go first?
I'll yield to Ms.
Go ahead, Ms. Stanford.
Stanford first.
Okay. There's been a lot said, and I want to thank everyone that came tonight. And students, if the students could stand for a second, I just want to acknowledge you. I think you gave a great example of how to fight for something you believe in, and I appreciate that. Very good example for the adults, and thank you for all the adults who are also here. The district is not used to being competitive. Districts are not used to fighting hard to get students in, and I know from Mr. Garza's experience, you've worked for charters before, as I recall, and you know that charters are aggressive. They're aggressively going after the students in our area. We really haven't done that. And what I'm seeing in these people showing up tonight is that they are motivated, they love what they offer, and they're willing to market it to the neighboring areas. They're willing to go after those students that that the same students that are being taken away from us by the charters. And I respect that. And I'm willing to give you a year to do that. I think you could do it. I think you could then show us how to do it for the entire district.
Yes.
If you guys go out and do that, and you've gotten a plan here, and many of you have said, we believe in what we have to offer and we can sell it. I believe you can sell it. And I believe that you will go out and you will do that, and you will market to the area around you, and you will pull those students back because you believe in what you have, and you will tell them, we want you. And that's something the district doesn't really know how to do. We're acting like Eeyore. Like, oh, we're gonna lose students. Well, that's just where we are right now. But your life, your vitality, your ingenuity, the willingness to fight, that's what we need. And if we give you a year to do that, I believe you can show us a template to repeat for other schools. And we can fight as a district, and what you do can spread. And France, what you guys do to reach out to your district, I think you can show us the way. You can show us how to duplicate that template, and we can do it on other campuses and bring students back. We don't have to sit here passively and bleed students. We don't have to do that. With your energy and your ingenuity and your creativity and your passion for what you're doing, that will communicate. And I believe in you, and I'm willing to, I'm telling us and my colleagues, let's invest in them. Let's invest in what they're willing to do, and they will not only help Rolling Meadows and France, they will help the entire district. You will benefit Judson, you will show us how to do it across other campuses. I think that's worth a year, and I'm willing to invest in you, and I hope my colleagues are too. Let's invest in them. Let's give them a year to give us back a way to win back students.
Mr. Macias, go ahead.
I pray for those that are hurting from this decision. And I pray that God give you his presence and light during this time. So, that being said, we had discussion today. We had another presentation. I still maintain that this is backwards. We're cutting or closing schools before we've had any formative budget discussions. And I know there are alternatives. I've said it. We've not had a very in-depth, but there are pathways that we should explore first before we close campuses. And I met with Dr. Jocklish earlier today, and we were talking about a mixture of things. One of them that I told him that when you work and you're a leader, you build consensus, which means one side or the other side doesn't get everything they want. You guys, we build teamwork and consensus. My belief is that we could close 2 schools to show there is a true sense of urgency to address our budget deficit. But 4 schools in total? No. Which means Rolling Meadows and Ed Franz should not be on this list. Not with us, without us doing the work. And the work meaning looking at our staffing changes. I've suggested to Dr. Jocklish that we consider part-time at some of our smaller campuses to alleviate some of the personnel costs. Because again, it's no secret, 91% of our money is tied into personnel. And I've mentioned over and over again that we have attrition. It was in the campus, the ones that Dr. Fields and his team did, that have pathways for us to limit hiring people to save money. So we haven't reviewed that list in depth. There could be more people on it, there could be less, but there is a pathway that we have not explored. So we automatically come to closing schools, and we're late at that to begin with. So we did do the budget, we have it, now we're here, and it's caused a great deal of anxiety in our community, and it's hurting our students. This is it's just not right. I do feel that I've been a part of this community for 25 years now, and I've been serving as a trustee for 16. My heart is invested in this community's success. And we'll go down together, or we'll rise together. And that's how I see it. So I don't see this as some people would say, an Excel spreadsheet with numbers. There's heart in our district. And so the reason why I'm advocating so much is because we haven't done the work. We just have not done the work for other alternatives. And the other part is there is a fallacy. We don't know truly what the cost savings would be because we still have variables like transportation, and we don't know what student enrollment is going to look like. So we do need to proceed cautiously. And one thing that I will say that's purely my opinion, Dr. Fields was going to recommend two to three campuses this year to close. And of course, that didn't align with some people's thoughts on the board. They wanted 4 campuses. So guess who's not here? Dr. Fields. And so at some point, there were barriers that were removed so that we could have 4 campuses to give the optics that we're trying to do some great things. The great things is in addressing the personnel issue that we have, determining how to staff our schools, and to tell our community, this is what we're trying to do to ensure that we are making consciously good efforts to reduce our deficit before we hurt students. As someone mentioned earlier, we have excess property that needs to be sold. We have a Pat Booker location, technology building, no students are there. Sell those property to help alleviate our debt. It's viable, and I just want us to explore that before we go closing schools.
Sorry, I was just getting the timer up. I just have a couple of quick questions. My first question is gonna be for administration. One, is this process backwards? I know you've worked with other districts, I know you've worked with other districts that have been in very similar financial situations that we're currently in. Mr. Macias keeps telling us that this is backwards. Is this backwards?
No, ma'am, it's not. The first step is to determine what schools you will close. And then from there, that allows you to build your personnel salary schedules, the number of personnel you'll have in your schools, your units, and then from there, once you staff and build your schools, you look at the schools that you have, how many special education students, how many ELL students, et cetera, and then that helps you make sure you provide that support service. After that, then you go to the budget of the personnel within the district. How do we target to continue to support our employees in the health insurance and the human resources side? And then how do we make sure we support our teachers? Then after that, you look at the administration and you look at central office and you look at streamlining and building a new organization chart to be able to make sure that you can cut the personnel pieces there to be able to save money and then keep the right people or put other people in the right places to take up the responsibilities. Then from there, there's one more step, and that is to take a look at all the operations in the district. And we use the copy machine contracts as an example in other places, and how we purchase our vehicles and purchase our gas, and just all the little things, because once we get to the 14% or 84%, that gives us 16% more to cut from that. Right now, we're at 91%, so we only have 9% to cut other areas, and that doesn't give us a lot.
Okay, my second question is for Dr. Gosh. What was Dr. Fields' recommendation on how many schools we were gonna close?
So the last edition of the CAPA that was presented said 2 to 3 schools on the first year. Maybe it said 3 schools in year 1, and it would have been 2 schools in year 2. So it would have been a total of 5 over the course of 2 years. So same number of schools.
So this is almost kind of like a balance just between, let's shut down 4 so that we can avoid maybe doing 5 next, or doing the additional 5 next year, right?
The proposal that was in the board book in December said 3 schools by the end of this year and 2 schools in the year following.
Okay. And then my last question is for, once again, Dr. Jacklich. Do we have time for an activity? Do we have a year?
I would say when you take a look at also the requirements we have for our fund balance, because if we want to go out for bonds in the future, if we want to borrow money, we need to keep that rating. Otherwise, we won't be taken under by TEA and sponsored by them, and then get the lower interest rates. I would also say that where we are right now, if we continue to move forward, we have $7 million there. We have millions more in savings in the human resource side, and then it will allow us to be able to get a good concrete hold on what's next.
Okay, thank you. I just wanted clarification on these points because I know things can get confusing. I get confused and I hear a lot more than I know most of the community does. So again, thank you, Dr. Jackledge. Thank you, Dr. Welsh, for just clarifying that and putting it out there.
Ms. Canoia.
This is too important for me not to explain my vote before I cast it. And I want all of you to hear me. I'm going to vote yes to closing 3 elementary schools. Rolling Meadows is in my district, and I taught there, and I have friends there, and I absolutely hate the idea of losing any of our schools. Franz was my school. I have friends there. Park Village, my wife was an assistant principal at Park Village for 5 years. These all mean something to me. But what means more to me is making sure that this district can be functional and that we can provide for all our students. 1 year, we need 1,500 to 2,000 students to make up the deficit that we're losing, and I don't see that happening. I just don't. So what do we do? What do we do? You know, sometimes you have to cut the leg off so the infection doesn't kill the whole body. And we're in a situation now where we are in truly, truly difficult circumstances. I've wrestled with this all weekend. I've been wrestling with it for quite a while. And I apologize to all of you because I know you work hard, I know you care, and I hate that this is a decision that I feel like I have to make. I'm very sorry.
Ms. Stanford, before I come to you, I'm gonna make sure everybody gets their first chance to speak, and then I'll come back around for you second. That's what I'm listening to see. No, I know, I'm saying, that's the Laura's second, so. Hold on, but I haven't spoken. So I'm gonna jump in because I haven't spoken yet once on this specific topic. So, I'm gonna echo a lot of what Ms. Canoia just said in mine too. My children were Rolling Meadows Wolves the day we moved here to Judson. That's where my 2 babies started, and to think that my littlest won't be able to do an elephant walk at that school when she graduates, those are tough things we're all gonna have to face. But it's felt like lately we're spending a lot of time looking in that rearview mirror, focusing on the past and things we shoulda, coulda, woulda done differently. Should we have started this 2 years ago? Yes, absolutely we should have. Could we have approached this thing differently and much earlier? Absolutely. Should different financial decisions have been made the last 2.5 years? Without a question. But those just aren't decisions I can undo tonight. We are where we are. And leadership means you have to face sometimes the realities, and not just focus on what happened in the past and trying to assess blame. At some point, not just this board, but all of the leadership and all the families, we have to start facing forward. And we've got to all be getting pointed into that same direction. Because 6 members of this board were approved, very difficultly, closure of 4 total schools. And that was not an emotionally based decision. And it wasn't political, because it did not make the criticism of this board any less. It was a data-driven decision based on the recommendation of administration, consistent with every consultant we've had, from demographers to financial consultants consultants and enrollment projections. In fact, it was the most conservative. Most of the recommendations we were getting were 3 to 5 elementary schools that we needed to close. So to close 3 elementaries was a conservative recommendation. And so tonight's decision is going to be necessary because this is the role of a fiduciary. We are charged with making the decisions for 200,000 souls that reside within Judson ISD boundaries and over 22,000 students. But after reading all the emails, thank you, Rolling Meadows, you are very prolific emailers, and listening to all the comments from both Saturday and today and everything from district, I wrote down, we must make hard data-driven decisions, but then we must execute them with a human focus. Because the numbers drive our decisions, but what really measures Judson is how we execute these decisions, focused on the human beings. Because once a decision's made, we have to flip and our posture has to change. We're no longer decision makers. Our leadership becomes the caretakers of this community. And Dr. J, your team is going to make sure every child feels safe, supported, and confident in whatever their new school community is. Every family needs to be welcomed and invited to help build and strengthen that new community that they get assigned to. And every staff member has to feel valued in this process and empowered to make these impacts that they are making wherever they are today on every kid in Judson deserves that same impact, that same magic that every staff member is getting. And these are not easy decisions, but that's where leadership matters, because we have to put faith that if we unify together, all the way from the board down to every single person on our staff, and we work through this together, that we are going to get through this. And we're gonna come out stronger. And unfortunately, today is that turning point day where we're gonna have to probably hand it over to your team. But I do have faith, because I've seen the pain on this cabinet's face over the last couple months, because these are the campuses they grew up on, right? These are the campuses they walk the halls to. So I will be voting no on this motion, and I will be supporting administration's recommendation to close the 3 schools that they have recommended. Ms. Jones, I think you're next. You haven't gone yet. I'll come back to you, Laura.
Sure. I didn't have anything prepared, but just listening to the people who came out tonight, it really hurt my heart that we didn't have more families from Park Village come out to say the amazing things that the teachers and staff and students are doing there. Because it is an amazing campus, and Ms. Bedford has turned the culture around there. And we had one parent on Saturday, Mr. Levi Jones, who's a parent with special needs children. And it just really hurts me. Because I wish people could have heard the amazing things that are happening there at that campus, and how it just seemed to be pushed under with no discussion besides Ms. Knoyer mentioning her wife being an assistant principal there. And that's all I have.
Okay, now I'm gonna go back to Ms. Stanford and then anybody else who may have a rebuttal.
Okay. I know we have to close at least 2 schools. I understand that. I don't think that pausing on 2 additional schools is gonna sink us. It's not a high percentage of our deficit. And the thing that we're not taking into account, and I want my colleagues to listen to this, we're looking at numbers, but they're looking at deep commitment, passion. There's a power in what these people are feeling, and they can translate that power into results. They can sell what they have at Friends and at Rolling Meadows. They can sell it to the community. They can pull in more people and show us the way. I think it's worth giving them a year to do that. Let them go to their community and pull back some of these students that we have lost and never really fought for. Give them the chance to do that. 1 year is not gonna sink us. And if they can create a template for us, maybe Mr. Garza can even create the marketing plan, because you have worked with charter schools. You know how they think, you know how they market. You can help the two schools market together to their community, and if we can raise the numbers, then we have a template we can carry across to the rest of the district. I think that's worth investing in our brightest and our best, to show us a way to do that. 1 year, and let's see what they can show us can be done. That's not gonna disrupt and sink the district's finances, not to those two schools. And you felt and you heard the passion. Let them take that out to the community. Let them go get more students. I think they can do it, and I think it's worth a year. And if they can do that, then we can duplicate it. We have to stop just giving up and saying we're bleeding students. We need to do something about it. Let them show us the way. Let them show how to do it, and we can duplicate it. I think it's worth investing in our own people to show us how to do that, how to bring back students. That's what we need. We need students to come back to us. What if they can show us how to do that? I think it's worth giving them a year to do that. And I'm asking us to consider that, please.
Okay, we'll now proceed to vote on the motion
I have a
on.
rebuttal.
Oh, I didn't see your button
I
push,
was
sorry,
waiting
sir.
for the comment.
Oh, sorry, I was watching the monitor. Go ahead,
Okay.
Mr. President.
I appreciate all of the input. I still think that it's a little unfair to ask Dr. Jacklish if this was backwards or not, because honestly, I would assume in his districts, he would have had a robust budget discussion we got here, and we haven't. So he outlined the process perfectly well, that's the process. But did we have true budget discussions about where we could show our community we're going to save? And the answer is no, we haven't. So we're going to go backwards in this effort, if I'm reading the room, with closing schools. Rather than being conservative and being sensitive to this whole process, we're just gonna say, let's close 4 schools and be done with it. We're not. We still have to come back and have budget discussions and find a way forward, because the amount of money that we're going to get closing the elementary school, I think, is like $1.5 million. And as I mentioned Saturday, there are pathways. We're reducing 220, 6 days, 220. Dr. Jacklish told me 500,000, but our capital showed $1 million. So wherever it is, that's still significant. I feel like we are hurting students at a time that we should be supporting them. And now we're going to have to find pathways to support and talk to them about change. When you're young, you need stability. You need to have an institution that is regular. Change isn't always good. So I'm a military dependent, so I didn't have the luxury. I turned out okay. But I wish I would have had a place that I would have been at forever. So I just, again, I'll just implore my colleagues to consider going one by one on our list. I certainly reluctantly will support closure of Park Village. And of course, Judson Middle School has already been voted upon and closed. That's 2. And all that I think that I'm requesting is that we wait until next year as we appropriately look at all the budgetary options that we have. And once I can say honestly to my community we've explored it, then Dr. Jacklish, I'll say, okay, we have no choice but to close. But they're chasing a utility number rather than honoring academic success. And that's what I think is really most shameful, because Ed Franz and Rolling Meadows are doing well. And we should not be penalizing them. And I would much rather agree with the notion of closing Selma and bringing those students back to Rolling Meadows and repurposing Selma. I know the mayor's gonna give me a hard time with that, but honestly, it's more appropriate, in my opinion.
We will now take the vote, just as a reminder, the motion on the table is to not close Rolling Meadows for 26-27. So if that's, you're voting to, if you vote yes, you're voting to not close it. If you vote no, then if it does not pass, we'll proceed to another motion that would be in line with what administration's recommendation is going to be.
So yes is not closed.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. Correct. All right, does everybody understand what they're voting on? Sorry, I don't like double negative motions, but it is what it is at this point, so. Okay, proceed to vote. Okay, motion fails, 2 to 5. I will follow up with a counter motion now, which is, with sadness, I move to close Park Village Blended Learning Academy, Franz Leadership Academy, and Rolling Meadows Elementary, effective at the end of the 2025-2026 school year. Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion by Ms. Ryan, second by Ms. Potteet.
And I'd like to amend that motion.
Go ahead, Ms. Stanford.
Okay.
People are, well, no, ma'am, people are waiting, so just be respectful of our.
We let them wait an hour and a
I'm
half
saying
in
be
May,
respectful,
so.
yeah.
But I would like to separate out France, however that wording needs to be. I don't want to vote on all three at once. We voted singularly on Rolling Meadows, I'd like to vote singularly on France.
Okay, so you are motioning to amend, and you're gonna list 2 schools, is that what you're doing? Go ahead, make your motion, ma'am, or what you would like to amend.
To amend the motion
To remove Franz Elementary from the list?
remove France Elementary from the list and vote on it separately.
Okay, I have a motion to amend what we are voting on from Ms. Stanford. Do I have a second? Okay, hearing no second, we're back to the original motion of closing Park Village Blended Learning Academy, Franz Leadership Academy, and Rolling Meadows Elementary, effective the end of the 25-26 school year. No, I was just repeating the motion that was already back on the table, because we did not amend it, so. All right, seeing no other, we'll proceed to vote. Okay, motion passes 5 to 2. And Dr. Jack Butcher, over to you and your team. We just made a very hard, data-driven decision, and I hope your team is here to execute with that human focus. There being no further business, this meeting is adjourned at 7:29.
Oh, you're gonna get your mic, go ahead. Thank you. Excuse me, sugar dumpling. Can you go grab my camera? Really quick. period, we're gonna run outside really quickly. Can we like squeeze past you and this redhead? Yeah.